Unfettered Patterns has done it again with this bow top pattern. It's a well-drafted design full of great techniques such as sleeve plackets, a collar stand, and a rolled hem. I've sewn it today in a wool chambray from Rex Fabrics. It was the perfect shirting fabric to highlight the blouse's structure as well as the drape of the ties. I'm pretty sure I'll be sewing another version in the near future, so I hope you join me to sew one too. Let's get started. Here is one of my placket pieces. I'm going to turn it to the wrong side and transfer the marking from the pattern piece. I've gone ahead and applied interfacing to the wrong side of the sleeve placket piece. Now I'm going to fold the two side edges to the wrong side by 1/4 inch, and I'll also turn the small top edge to the wrong side by 1/4 inch as well. Now I'll place this placket piece onto the corresponding sleeve piece. Placing the right side of the placket onto the wrong side of the sleeve on top of the corresponding markings. And pin in place. Take these pieces to the sewing machine and sew right on top of the marked rectangle. Starting from the bottom of the sleeve, we're going to slash through the rectangle right through the center. Stopping our slash about 3/8 inch before reaching the top edge of our stitching, we're going to slash to the corners of the stitching. Now that we've cut that Y shape into this rectangle, we can turn this material to the right side through the slash. And give that opening a good press. Now for this more narrow side of the placket facing, I'm going to fold it in half so that the previous folded edges just covers the stitching line. And press that in place. You can pin this material if you like, then edge stitch from the bottom to the point across from the top of the placket opening. Now for the wider side of this placket facing piece, we're going to fold it in half just as we did on the other side, so that this folded edge now covers the stitching on the opposite side. And press in place. Now we'll edge stitch from the bottom of the sleeve placket to the top, then we'll create a box at the top with an X in the middle. The box that we sew at the top will be about 3/4 inch in height. Along the bottom of the sleeve, you have 4 notches indicating our pleats. I'm choosing to have my pleats folded toward the placket. For each set of notches, I'm going to fold that material toward the placket and pin in place, folding the material right sides together and aligning each set of notches. Then I'll baste my pleats in place. And before I start working on and attaching the cuffs, I'm going to finish both side edges of the sleeve separately. Fold the sleeve in half right sides together, aligning the side seam, and pin in place. Sew this seam at 3/8 inch and press the seam open. For the cuff piece, I've chosen to interface the bottom half of the piece only. Now I'll fold my cuff right sides together horizontally and pin the short edges. Sew the short edges with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Clip the bottom folded corners, turn this piece right side out, and give it a good press. For one layer of the top raw edges, I've gone ahead and folded it back to the wrong side by 3/8 inch. Place the unfolded raw edge right sides together with the bottom edge of the sleeve. Open out the seams of the cuff so that you can align that seam perfectly with the finished edge of the placket on both sides. Once that seam is aligned with the edge of the placket, pin in place. Continue pinning the raw edges together to the other side of the placket. Now I'll sew that unpressed raw edge of the cuff to the bottom of the sleeve from one side of the placket all the way to the other with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now we can turn that cuff away from the bottom of the sleeve and press that sewn seam allowance toward the cuff. Now I'll turn the bottom raw edge that I pressed to the wrong side by 3/8 of an inch earlier to the inside so that that folded edge will just cover the stitching line. Pin in place all the way across from placket edge to placket edge. For this pinned section, the upper edge of the cuff, I'm going to edge stitch close to that folded edge from one side to the other. Then I'll pivot and top stitch the remaining edges of the cuff with about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I've transferred my buttonhole markings onto the corresponding side of the sleeve cuff. Now I'll sew the buttonholes in place. Then I'll sew my buttons directly across from the buttonholes according to the pattern's markings. Follow the exact same steps to complete the mirrored sleeve. Here is the wrong side of one of my front bodice pieces, and I'm going to pin my dart. Sew from the outside edge to the point, leaving thread tails at the point so you can tie them in knots. Repeat for your opposite front bodice piece. I've pressed my dart downward. Now I'll finish the side edges. I've applied interfacing to the wrong side of one of my placket pieces. Now I'm going to fold it wrong sides together right along the center. Then I'll open that back out and press one long edge to the wrong side by 3/8 of an inch. Place the unfolded raw edge of the placket right sides together with the center front of the front bodice. Pin in place. Sew from top to bottom with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, then press that seam toward the placket. Here is my placket opened out with the seam that we just sewed pressed toward the placket. I'm going to fold the placket in half right sides together along the top and bottom edges. The folded outer edge of the placket that we pressed earlier should line up with the placket seam that we just sewed. And pin in place. For both ends. I'm going to sew the top edge of the placket together from the seam line to the outer edge of the placket with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. For the bottom edge, I want to give myself a 5/8 inch hem, so I'm going to sew this bottom edge again from the seam to the outer edge of the placket with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. I'm going to trim the outer corners, then turn my placket right side out. The folded inner edge of the placket should be covering the stitching line. Before I pin this in place, I'm going to snip into the top edge only. I'm going to snip into the top edge of that fabric right along the seam line, stopping at 3/8 of an inch. This will release that neckline material so that we can attach the collar at a later step. Now that the folded material is still right on top of that seam line, we can pin it in place. I'm going to edge stitch along that folded edge from the top, stopping about 2 to 3 inches from the bottom edge. Back stitching to secure. Place your yoke piece right sides together with the top edge of the back piece. Pin in place and sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, then finish the edges together and press the seam up toward the yoke. Before I attach the front and back pieces together, I'm going to finish both of my shoulder seams. Doing this for the front bodice pieces. Now I'll finish the shoulder edges and the side edges for this back bodice piece. Place the front and back pieces right sides together and pin at the shoulder and side seams. Sew both shoulder seams and both side seams with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and press the seams open. Place your sleeve right sides together with its corresponding armhole and pin in place starting at the underarm seam and matching the rest of the notches. Sew the sleeve into the armhole with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, finish the raw edges together, and repeat to install both sleeves. I've interfaced the wrong side of one of my collar pieces. Now I'll place them right sides together and pin along the outer edges and the top edge. Sew from the bottom edge across the top and down the opposite side edge with the 3/8 inch seam allowance. Trim the top corners, turn the collar right side out, and give it a good press. Place your collar stand pieces right sides together and sew the center seam with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Press that seam open. I've done this for both collar stand sets, and I've chosen to interface the center section for only one of the sets. This is the collar stand area only that I've interfaced. I've chosen not to interface the tie areas because I want them to be loose. I'm also choosing to add a label to my uninterfaced collar stand piece. I'm going to place the raw edges of my collar piece right sides together with the outer collar stand piece, aligning the centers and the top raw edges and pinning in place. Baste these pieces together. Here is the neckline of my bodice piece. With my collar opened out away from the collar stand, I'm going to pin the bottom raw edge of the collar stand right sides together with the neckline edge, once again matching the center backs. Pin from the center back of the collar along the neckline to those points that we snipped into earlier. Sew the collar stand to the neckline from the released seam allowance on one side of the neckline straight across to the other with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Back stitching at the edges of both released seam allowances to secure. Place your remaining collar stand piece right sides together with the attached collar stand with the collar sandwiched in between. Pin in place along the entire top edge as well as the top edges of the tie. Continue pinning along the short edge of the tie as well as the bottom edge just as far as the bodice. Where the tie meets the bodice, there are notches transferred from the pattern piece. That's where I'm going to stop my sewing. I'll pin in the same way on the other side. Now I'll start my sewing at one set of notches along the bottom of one collar stand piece, sewing with a 3/8 inch seam allowance all along the bottom edge of the tie, pivoting at the short edge across the top of the tie, and continuing all across the sewn edge of the collar that we sewed previously. I'll continue sewing along the top edge of the tie on the opposite side, once again pivoting along that short edge until I'm back at the mirrored starting point on the other side. Back stitching at those notches. Turn both sides of the tie right side out. Give both of the ties a good press, as well as pressing that bottom edge of the collar stand to the wrong side by 3/8 of an inch. Once that inner edge of the collar stand is pressed to the inside by 3/8 of an inch, we're going to place that folded edge just over the stitching line and pin in place, closing this area from one inner edge of the placket to the other. Once we have that inner edge of the collar stand pinned, we're going to top stitch the entire collar stand as well as the ties. For this pinned section, I'm going to edge stitch along that bottom fold. Then I'll continue top stitching along the edges of the tie, pivoting around the short edges, back along the top edge of the collar stand, and continuing my top stitching around the outer edges of the tie until I'm back where I started. Now to complete the bottom hem, I'm going to fold the bottom raw edge to the wrong side by 5/8 of an inch. Once I have that pressed, I'm going to fold the raw edge once more to meet the crease that I formed with the iron and roll it upward so that I have a rolled hem. Pin in place. I've pinned my hem in place from one side of the placket all the way around to the opposite inner edge of the placket, and I'm going to edge stitch close to that upper inner fold all the way across. Now that we've completed the bottom hem, we can finish the top stitching that we started along the placket earlier. We left that opening at the bottom of the placket of about 2 to 3 inches. Start where you stopped, and then we're going to sew to the bottom of the placket, pivot along the bottom short edge, then we're going to continue our top stitching along the outer edge of the placket all the way to the top, then pivot along the top edge of the placket so that we've top stitched the entire rectangle. Repeat for both plackets. I've marked my buttonholes from the front placket pattern piece onto my right front placket. Now I'll sew the buttonholes in place. Now we can sew our buttons onto the opposite placket directly across from the buttonholes. And now your bow top is complete. Thank you for watching this sew along. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future sewing tutorials, and I'll see you in the next video.